Okay, let's go for the yellows. So, which yellow am I going to choose for my yellow? So I've got yellow ochre, Anso yellow, Hansa yellow, cadmium yellow light, cadmium medium, deep. These two feel really orange. This one's a little bit a lemony for me. I don't know if you guys can see it. I think Hansa works really well, and so does the Anso yellow and yellow ochre. And I think that I'm going to choose the Aso yellow. So let's go ahead. And I squished out some on my table already. And I'm going to get rid of these guys. And I'm just going to have the Aso yellow right here. And I'm going to take my Eaton wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and paint my mother yellow in the yellow spot. So yellow is very transparent, and make sure I have my light, yes, right here, is transparent. So if you have any pencil marks or any, don't write underneath it yellow really bright, because I don't know if you can see the pencil mark showing up there, but it will. And because of that, I'm going to kind of go over the line with this. And I'm going to keep that nice and thick. And I will probably come back like I did with the other ones and give it a second coat when it dries. And good. So we have our mother yellow on there. You know, I didn't need to do that from the very beginning, but I did it anyway. So let's go ahead and mix our shades of yellow. So again, I'm using zinc white. Zinc white's a little tricky, and if you guys want to use titanium white, it's absolutely fine. So here is my zinc, and I'm going to start marrying it with my zinc white. And I want to kind of spread this out a little bit more so I can see the color changes. Because I'm going to have to put on 2 layers. I want to make enough paint that I can paint it twice. And maybe a little bit more. And I feel like that's a pretty good jump. Let's go ahead and put some here, and I'm going to put a lot in it. Again, that wasn't very much of a lot. I'll probably have to get some more zinc out. And a lot more zinc out. And again, if it's not working, go ahead and take a lot of it out and then add your zinc white to it. Or else I'd have to put 3 times as much in there to get it to move. Okay. And that's starting to move, so I'm going to take what's kind of like on the table, and I'm going to add zinc white to that. Because if I had taken that, I would have to add twice as much. So there we go. And I'm happy that I'm getting enough paint on here that I'm going to have paint to use. Okay, and what do you guys think of my jumps? Let's spread this out so we can see it. And then I feel like these might be a little close, so I might take some of this and put it in here. And that looks like it jumps down nicely. These two might be a little close, so maybe I'll take what zinc I have left and put it there. Oh, and that worked out just really nicely. I think that's a pretty good jump. This, I don't remember what it was, is one of these two. Because I don't have much of this paint, I'm going to go ahead and add some to it. And look at all this zinc I found hiding in my top. So I can go ahead and use that. Now I have yellow in it. I have to make sure to wash that. Okay. And another little nerd thing. Okay. How's that look to you guys? Once it dries on paper, we can see it even more, but I would not like to get there yet. But okay, I'm going to put this over here in case I need it. I'm going to clean up what's around here, and now we're going to go into shades, meaning yellow getting darker. And shades, it gets a little bit trickier. When you add black to yellow, remember what the definition of hue is. When you add black to yellow, it's not really yellow anymore. It is green. And see if I can put it on here so you can see it on my palette. In the video it looks black. And it still kind of looks black here. See if I can get some light on it. That one looks green. This one, because it's still wet and dark, it looks black. But you don't want your yellows to go green, because then it's not yellow anymore. It's become the last name or the family of green. So how do you counteract that? You take alizarin crimson, which is the opposite of green. It's a red, and it's very, very it's a very burgundy-ish red, and mix your black into it. And what I usually do is I have almost 3/4 alizarin crimson to 1/4 black. When you put it on your paper, it's still going to be just black, black, black. But when you mix it with your yellow, and let's go ahead and pull this over as our black for our yellow. And let's go ahead and mix some yellow in that and see if it turns green. And you know, it's not a great color. It's kind of a little bit pukey, but it's definitely not green. And if I could take this green off of here and show you the difference, it's kind of like going golden. And I feel like golden is more what we might think of as a dark yellow. And so I used that whole pile, but no worries, because it wasn't a mixed pile. I can add as much yellow down here as I want to. So here's our first shade of black, and go ahead and get some more, and I'm going to add this to it. And if it's still a tinge on the green side, which I don't think it is, I think it works pretty good, go ahead and add more alizarin crimson to it. I'm going to add a little bit more to that. Try to get a little bit more. Ooh, that might have been too much. Nope, it looks pretty good. Okay, so those are kind of like our golden shades of yellow. Let me not mix black into it, and I want to show you what the shades would look like on the green side. So can you see the difference between this being green and that being golden? I hope so. I'll bring this down closer, and maybe you might be able to see the greeny. Even if I add more yellow to this to make it a lighter shade, we're still definitely on the green side, as those are looking really nicely golden. So I'm going to take this away and not get it anywhere near my pretty golden yellows. And I'm going to bring my Eaton wheel over, and I'm going to raise this up so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and put on my tints and shades. I'll start with the tints first because I want my brush to stay clean. And I'll go ahead and put this on. Tints to the middle, shades to the outside. And this is yellow. So The paint I used to make the black golden is a alizarin crimson. You can use another red if you want to, but I think alizarin crimson works the best. And because I had put this yellow on a little earlier, and it's fairly dry to the touch, it's a little darker. So when this dries, you'll be able to see the jump a little bit more even, because this yellow I'm putting on now will also dry a little bit darker. And let's go for tint number 2. My paintbrush had a little bit too much water in it, so it was watering out my paint as I was putting it on. And color wheel's looking pretty good. And the last tint. And because it's such a little spot, I didn't need to mix up that much paint, but we did anyway, and it works pretty good. Okay, so let's start putting these shades down that are not green, which I like. And it's kind of cheating a little bit, but it makes it look like it's shades of yellow as opposed to going green. It's a little bit cheating using the alizarin crimson. And you can see that this is, because it's a little bit darker, it's going a little thinner. So I'm going to let that dry up, and I'll give it another coat. That almost looks like yellow ochre that comes right out of the tube. So we can, this would be a hue of yellow ochre that I just mixed, because it's not actually yellow ochre, which is dirt from around some place in Italy that had this beautiful kind of like light brown, or is in this case a shade of yellow. Okay, I'm going to let that dry because it's not sticking, and in a second coat it will be great. And I'm probably going to turn off this video and give it another coat in a few minutes when it dries. But right now I want to show you something. So this was our yellow that was mixed with alizarin crimson to make it look really, really nicely kind of going golden. And this one, it's not. So this one's just mixed with black. And you can see the difference between this looking really green, or a lot greener, kind of closer to that than it is to the yellow. And I think that this one is staying really nice and golden yellow. Okay, I will see you next time for mixing our greens. And yeah.